Moving on, the MVP was announced yesterday. Nikola Jokic won his third MVP in 4 years. SGA finished second, Luka third, Giannis fourth, Jalen Brunson rounding out the top five. What's your reaction? 3 MVPs in 4 years for Jokic.
They only threw Jay Brunson in there because he's playing insane in these playoffs. Like towards the end of the season in the playoffs.
They do the vote before the playoffs start.
Yeah, but that's why they threw him in there, in my opinion, because he's been killing.
He's playing well down the stretch.
I think he earned the top 5 spot. I don't think it's crazy. I think he, with his regular season play, he'd be 5th. But it's 4 incredible guys ahead of him.
Yeah, true. True. No, congrats to Joker though for getting his third. Man. I mean, if you listen to what his peers say, say that he's the best in the game right now. So I would have to go more off of what they say because, I never played against them or I don't know them, nothing like that. But I got to go off of what his peers say and just, looking at certain clips here and there, and it's certain guys who, some big names who like, oh yeah, Joker by far is the MVP, this and that, da-da-da-da-da. Got to go with that. But, I mean, as the category states, as you look at it, he is the most valuable for his team right now. Because if he goes down, that's a wrap for Denver.
Yeah,
he runs that machine. He's the oil in that machine.
100%. I had mixed feelings on it because I was tight, like, man, I can't believe they gave it to Joker again. SGA is having such a great year. They're number 1 in the West. He's leading the league. Well, he's top 3
undefeated in the playoffs.
Undefeated in the playoffs, obviously. Top 3 scorer in the league. He leads the league in steals. But then I got to looking at Jokic stats. I'm like,
I'm telling you, man.
This man almost averaged a triple-double again. Like, from the center spot, that's unheard of. You know what I mean? So I was like, man, let me back up. And just really, because like you said, all his peers, everybody gonna say the same thing. He's unstoppable. SGA is really, really good. Now don't get me wrong. To come in second in the MVP voting is big. But I think they got it right. Man. I mean, Jokic is a monster. Average triple-double, and he don't do anything fast. He don't do anything special.
Measured at his own
pace.
All
he's not athletic.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all skill. Don't get me wrong. He's a big body. But he just has a skill set is crazy. So, I mean, I think they got it right. Jokic he's a monster.
So what's y'all's definition? You mentioned this some. Like, what would you say, what's your definition for MVP to you?
Well, I mean, for me, I'm biased because I'm defense. To me, you got to be somewhat of a good defensive presence or, like when cats think about certain plays, be like, no, we can't do that against him. Like he going somehow either step in the passing lane or if it's a lob, he gonna meet you up top or something. It's like, with certain defenders, with great defenders, what you try to do is go away from them, or you try to pull them away from the basket. Like that's why you've seen a lot of teams with Shaq. Seen a lot of teams try to put that big man either set that screen out at the top of the key with a high pick and roll, so you got to bring Shaq out away from him. It's different things, but I would say for me, it was more of a defensive presence. But I mean, as Bonzi said, you look at his stats, the rebounding on both ends is what sets it apart. And for him to be doing it, as he said, from that center position, that's good shit. But that's also, now with that being said, right, third time he won MVP as a big.
Yeah.
So are we looking at it as this game is starting to sway back into where you need a big, getting away from this small ball?
I mean, he's 3 in 4 years, and the 4th was Joel Embiid, another big. So also, if you go the 2 before that, is Giannis a big man? Because if so, Giannis won the 2 before that.
I would say Giannis more like that small forward, power forward.
But his game is, I would say, power forward center.
Man,
no, he's not a natural 5.
Why not?
No, he can play the 5. Yeah. It's a difference.
That's why they got Brook. Brook played the 5.
Exactly.
So I would say
Giannis. If Giannis had to go up against Brook Lopez, it's a wrap. He's not a 5. Giannis is like a 3 or 4.
He's a big man.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's slashing big.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's like a 3 or 4.
So if we're looking at it like that, then bigs have won the last 6, 7. So
during this small ball era. because everybody started calling it the small ball once Golden State won. You know, when they won their first one some years back. Yeah. So that's when that whole small ball era started, and everybody wanted to have all the guards to shoot a million threes and this and that. But obviously, again, with Denver, they last year, that high low with him and Aaron Gordon, they wasn't nobody big enough to stop it. But now, shit, you got Minnesota giving them a hell of a run. You know, you got other lengthy guys in the NBA that's coming out. So it's
I don't know. In my opinion, with the MVP, like, I think when we start like the 2023-24 season, we need to have everybody with a clean slate. We can't worry about what they've done before.
True.
Their
talking about
cachet.
only this year.
Let's just talk about what they did this year and run from right today until the end of until we vote or whatever. So that's the end of the regular season.
True.
And let's just, we can't worry about his cachet, what he done before. You know what I'm saying? The season.
Or what he might do.
Let's just measure what they do. And my whole opinion was, okay, SGA has done something that's. We never thought SGA could take an Oklahoma City team and make them number one in the Wild Wild West. You know how wild the West is? And to go number one, he averaged 30, led the league in steals. So that's what I was fighting for all year long. Like, man, he's got to be the MVP because we know obviously we know what Jokic can do. He's a great passer. He's more of the point center for those guys that get to him. They kind of like when we play with Sabonis. You throw the ball to Sabonis on that elbow or whatever. He got them big mitts. All you got to do is cut. He's gonna find you. Because he's gonna, it's kind of it's like deja vu when I watch him play sometimes. Obviously Sabonis wasn't as mobile, but I was just more or less like, okay, let's just go off the first day of the season until the last day we can vote, and let's look at that body of work, not what they done before. And I was giving it more to SGA, but when it came out and I got to looking at the stats, I was like, yeah, man, he, SGA go out of game. Maybe they can play with him, but I don't think Denver could have a chance if Jokic goes out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
if he goes, they go.
You know what I'm saying? So that's when I kind of switched my stance on that.
So where does this put him? Where does it put him like all time in terms of bigs? Because he becomes the 9th player all time to win 3 MVPs. Like it's like Kareem, MJ, Russell, LeBron, Wilt, Moses, Larry, Magic, Jokic. So that's the 9.
That's now you're talking about different eras with things.
Okay, where does it put him in terms of bigs?
I mean, as far as through NBA history, through the 100 years, I would definitely put Joker as a big in the top 10 because of the things they do, and he still has a promising future ahead of him because he's still young. Yeah. So he had to, at least as far as like competing on that high level, he got at least a good another 4 years before it really starts to set in. Like shit, him thinking about retirement or whatever. So he's only 29. He got a good at least 4 years, but. Yeah, I would put him in that top 10 as far as with bigs, with his game. But it's just the whole era effect, though, man. That's the difference with it because, I think in that old school era he would have some problems because he wouldn't be out there on that wing as much. You'd be down there guarding other 7-footers, other big bodies and shit, and your game is totally different.
I mean, it's not. You can only play against who.
Yeah, no, you only can play against who's out there. I only can go against who they put on the schedule.
Right.
I feel that, but shit. I mean, I don't know. It's tough because that plays a big part of it, but you also can't take away the fact that the man did win a chip, though.
Yeah.
So.
And for me, I'm gonna say, as of today, he a top 10 in the history of the game. But I think by the time he finished with his body of work, he's gonna be top 5 for sure. By the time he's stacking some more,
center.
Yeah. By the time he stacks some more All-Star games, All NBAs on his resume,
he's still a youngin'.
Might get some more MVPs. By the time his body of work is gonna be ridiculous. It's gonna be up there where we're gonna be like, man, is he up there with Reem? Is he up there with Kareem and Wilt knows? You know what I mean? Because he's gonna have MVPs like that. He's gonna have all NBAs like that. You know what I mean? Just depending on how long he play. You know what I mean? So if he get, like you say, if he get 4 to 5 more years in, let's say he win 2 more MVPs, 2 or 3 or 4 more All NBAs, some
I
All
mean,
Stars.
if you get the 5 MVPs, that's
You know what I mean?
I think that's only Jordan and Kareem.
You in like a GOAT type category. You know what I mean? And you got to keep it real. We want to hate, but you got to keep it real because his body of work is what it is. That's the only thing we can go off of. And he got a chip. Might put a couple more on there. You never know. You know how it goes, but. I think obviously he's top 10 today, but I think he's going to finish top 5, maybe even top 3.
And then the other thing about it, if you look at it, no matter if you put him in a top 5 or top 10 as far as centers, throughout the NBA history, the one thing that he has above them is the 3-point shooting.
Oh, 100%.
Because, traditional bigs ain't shooting no threes unless that shit ended a quarter, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You launching that shit 50, 60 feet.
Game plan,
so I think that's what's going to, or most people who judge him or vote for him, being a Hall of Fame, whatever, will probably separate that from other centers. I mean, you got to because of the fact the other centers didn't do it, but that doesn't make it any less great for them or
that's
any
what makes them all
more
different.
better for him. Yeah.